How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, do me a huge favor, go down and subscribe. Today we're doing a long anticipated modification to my Miata. I've been wanting to do this ever since I bought the car, and today is finally the day. So today we are going to be installing new coilovers on my Miata. So without further ado, let's get straight into the install. So before we get started, we have the coilovers here, the Miata here. We gotta get the car jacked up and do all of those different things. But let's take a look at the new coils before we actually put them in. So after long consideration, I chose to go with BC Racing coilovers. I chose the BR BC coils, and I've driven a car with them before and I really enjoyed them. There's so many options out there, but for the price and everything, I thought these were gonna be the best option. But the most important thing is where I actually got the coilovers from. So an authorized dealer from Spring Rates, I'll leave them in the description down below. I got my coilovers from there. If you're interested in getting your set of Miata coilovers or coilovers for any car, make sure you go check them out because they help the channel out. Huge thank you to Sean and the team over at springrates.com. So make sure to check them out in the description down below. But that being said, let's get into this install. So for people who aren't viewers of my channel, my Miata actually already has coilovers. So the front is a little too low for my jack to fit under actually. The coilovers just are not good. They're garbage coilovers. They're like $200 coils. We'll compare them once they're out of the car, but we're gonna start with the rears. So the front's chalked up. We're gonna do one side at a time because I only have 2 jack stands. Some people do it 2, front and back. Some people do it all at the same time. So we're just gonna do it back first, front later. So the car is on the stands, but I put the jack there just for extra security. So now we can take the wheels off. Alright, so just taking a look at what we gotta do here. We gotta take this sway bar off. So we just take this nut off here, and then we take one bolt, which is hiding right here. And then probably what I'm seeing is the 2 bolts on top of here, and it should come off. Okay, so an extremely long time later, I finally have that bolt taken off the sway bar, and I also have this extremely long bolt taken out from right here. That's a 14, that's a 17. Now we have to take the 2 bolts off from the top, and theoretically I should be able to just push this down and sneak that coil out. So here are the screws on top. This is blocking one of the coils, this is under there, but there's 1 bolt there and 1 bolt there. Usually there's a bunch of stuff here that I don't have, but we unscrew those and we should be able to take both the coils out. Let's go! Well, we can see the difference between the new and the old. Let's get the new ones in since the old one is out. So I have the right coilover in. The sway bar most likely will not fit because these are a little bit shorter, so it does make the car a little bit lower, which means that the sway bar, since the other sway bar link is still connected on this side, that link will not go in correct until I have this one taken out. So I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that same process. 17, the 2 14s on top, this 14 here, get this one out, get the other one installed, and then theoretically both end links should go back in place. So we had to remove this piece for the jack in order to get to that, but now I have both of the coils in. It was a little bit of a pain to get this one in actually. Now all we have to do is torque down all of the bolts on this side, and theoretically the rear end should be done. Then put the wheels back on, torque the wheels back down, and then let's get to the front. So everything's torqued down, the 1 nut that goes on the bottom and the 2 that go on the top of the coil. All 3 of those, or 6 of those I should say, are all good to go. She is sitting just a little bit lower than it was before. Yeah, that's pretty low. I think we might have to raise it up just a bit. Just keep in mind, I didn't adjust it at all. BC does add a little bit of preload when it comes to their suspension from the factory. So I believe we should be able to jack it up a couple of inches if we need to. But damn, this thing sits even lower than it did before, and my jack doesn't really clear under it anymore. So now that the car is jacked, the wheels are off, we're just gonna disconnect the sway bar right there, and then we're gonna unbolt the bolt that is actually on the back side here, I believe. And then we're gonna unbolt the bolt, which is right there for the coil, and then the 2 bolts on top, and then replace the old one with the new one. I've been trying to, for the last 10 to 15 minutes. I have the shock out of its housing, I guess. All 3 of the bolts are out. I have the end link out. But if we come and take a look, I'll show you in just a second here. The upper control arm actually is in the way. I knew this coming into it that it was going to be in the way. That being said, I think I'm going to need a 21mm deep socket in order to get the job done. This upper control arm is in the way of this shock here. So because it's in the way, we can't just take it out like we took the other ones out. We have to actually finesse it a little bit. That bolt sits all the way back here. You guys probably can't see it on camera. So that bolt actually has to go out through the front. The passenger side is the one giving me issue. The driver's side is out because the way you get leverage, you have to push this bolt right here. So this bolt needs to slide out of here and you need to push that bolt to get it loose. On the driver's side, you have to pull it, and I got enough leverage to get the driver's side out. So I'm just gonna leave the passenger side for now. And let's do the driver's side. So let me run you guys through what's going down. So this bolt needs to come out. Once that bolt is out, this upper control arm will drop. If I do remember correctly, the top bolts of the coiler are already out. I finally got this long bolt out of there. It's tricky, but you just have to continue all the way. You gotta go all the way. So this bolt sticks here, and then you gotta take it out from all the way from under there. And now we can take the coil out by simply pressing down and taking it out. We have the new BC coilover in the front. Now all I have to do is get the upper control arm bolt back in, which is probably easier said than done. Put some tension on the strut, torque everything down, and then we're done. Now I'm still struggling with this upper control arm bolt on this side. The next segment I'm going to record is going to be 1, me cutting this bolt off, or number 2, me telling you how I got this bolt off, because I am extremely frustrated right now. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since I've even touched the Miata. I've been super busy, and the bolt was stuck the last time, and it gave me the perfect opportunity to bring out the breaker bar. Last night I brought out the breaker. The bolt immediately came undone. Sometimes with older cars, they get a little rusty, but with a little bit of elbow grease, you should be able to get them out. So now I officially have the upper control arm bolt out. That means I can install the last of the 4 coilovers, and we can go out on a little drive potentially. It's still sunny out, so just been insanely busy, but we can finally finish this thing. Officially, all 4 of them are out. This is the last coil we need to put back in. You can see the upper control arm is all taken apart. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this coil in, tighten up the front end, put everything back, lower the car, and then we can go for a ride. Everything is done. We had a little bit of a issue with the sway bar end link bolt, but for now, everything is done. I'll come back to revisit that at a later date. As you can see, this is how it's looking. Well, it's already jacked up, so I think it's gonna be pretty damn low. Let's take a look at the other side. This was the harder side. This is the side I still haven't put the wheel on, so I can show you guys the coilovers. And there it is, the new coilover. So let's get all the wheels on. I should say the last wheel back on, torque everything down, take her out for a little bit of a ride. Car is on the ground. Look at how slammed this thing is. That looks beautiful. From this angle, there's definitely a couple of inches of difference. I think I might want to raise it up if possible to clear, especially when I have new tires, but obviously alignment comes first. I am very pumped for this. This is the mod I've wanted to do basically ever since I got this car. And the one thing I am going to do is check the oil real quick. Yeah, she's got oil. So let's rip. First little drive here. So immediately what I notice is coming out of my house, the coils aren't bottoming out. It's so much smoother already, and you can already feel it. We do a quick, it has way less body roll. Like the car's sitting flat now, which is exactly what I wanted. That is kind of insane. That's crazy, no? Dude, that's crazy. That feels so much better. You want to drive? All right, so I'm gonna hand the camera over to my passenger, or not yet, to my passenger essentially. Dude, I'm so impressed with this. Obviously, we're letting the coils kind of settle in. I'm not gonna go too hard on them or anything, but just taking these normal turns, the car feels really good, and I'm very thoroughly impressed. Again, if you want a set of coilovers, click the link in the description down below. Go to springrates.com, get your coilovers from Spring Rates, because if you have a Miata or literally any car, coilovers are going to make a huge difference. That being said, time to sit passenger in my car. Passenger in the Miata, easy, she's still warming up. From the passenger perspective, I don't have too much opinion on it, but what I do have an opinion in is how much better it is on those bumps. Give it a little side to side. You feel that difference, right? That's crazy. I'm thoroughly impressed right now. Obviously, we have dialing in to do. I think the front is a little bit soft because I did take that top like dampering setting and turn it down a little bit. You forget how to drive manual? Burning the shit out of my clutch. Dialing in, yes, we have to do, but just immediately off the first drive, the coils still have to break in. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed, and I'm very happy right now because this installation was the hardest thing I've ever done to a car. Keep in mind, I've never done an oil change to a car ever before, and I pulled this off, so it really isn't that hard to do. With the proper breaker bar, all the bolts are easy to get out. Oh, I'm happy right now. Very, very, very happy. Dude, do you forget how to drive manual? Why are we rolling?
I don't know where to spot it.
And just like that, we're back at home. I'm so happy right now because this car finally rides semi-adequately. It's really cold outside, so don't mind me wearing the hoodie. This thing is absolutely slammed. I mean, it looks much better, still in the stocks. That's all I have for the video. The coilovers in, a little bit of coilover installation, my thoughts on the coilover ride quality. If you want to get yourself a set, link in the description down below. Tell them Knobs Garage sent you. That's all I have for this video. If you did enjoy, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, check out another Miata video, and I will see you guys in the next one.